We're making money with storage unit auctions. The title of this segment: Veterans are pissed off. I've been checking Google and various blogs and Facebook and YouTube, and the veterans are pissed off. It's like, thank you, Storage Wars. Thank you, auction hunters. Thank you, eBay. Okay, if I was still in the game, I would probably be pissed too. But also, if I was still in the game, I would innovate. Look, this is not going anywhere. This is not the Great Recession, which, you know, we thicker. Let's just go ahead and say unemployment's roughly, say it's 25-30%. There are people who want to work, they can't work. There are people who are seriously under-incomed. I'm not going to say underemployed. You have a job, you have a job. But if you're not making enough money for you to live the life you want, you're under income. There's a lot of that going on. Things are not getting any better anytime soon, and people are going to do whatever they can within legal means, and some people illegal means, to make it. I mean, it's rough out there. It's really, really rough. You have a lot of honest people that were sold a bill of goods that now that they're unwrapped the goods, they're rotten. Because, you know, I'll tell you what set me on the path of entrepreneurship. I've always had either a part-time job or a side hustle or something the majority of my life. I actually went through a period in 18 months where I got laid off 3 times in the late 90s. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I'm sick of this. It's like I show up on work, you know, performance reviews, sometimes behavior problems because I have a big mouth. I say the wrong thing. I'm not politically correct, as you can know if you watch the videos. Been like this my whole life. That got me in a little trouble, but work performance was spot on. And one day I just realized I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore because I'm tired of putting my faith, everything I have, in the hands of someone that I am just a line entry on an accounting form. That's all that I was. I wasn't a person. I didn't really mean shit to the organization. I was someone that came in and traded my time for their money. That was the deal. That's the reality of it. And once I woke up, life became better, because there are many of you out there who are working just as hard if you had your own business with all of the risk but none of the reward. We've come to a point where things have really changed, and many people are waking up. I got this email this morning, you know, I'm gonna find this, and I mean, it's really, you know, I get stuff like this all the time. This is why I'm like, the unemployment, you know, it's not what they're saying it is. It's a lot. Okay, here it is. I'm not going to say his name. You know, this is a decent dude. Out of respect for your privacy, and since we both live in the same city, I have to write you for the simple fact that I am 51 years old, own my own remodeling business since 1992, supported my wife, 26-year-old daughter, two granddaughters, ages 2 and 6, and my 76-year-old father. The problem is I've reached a point in the last few weeks where I had to shut my business down due to the lack of work, and the bills are piling up. I had to put food on the table. Well, you don't want to hear my life story, so I'll get to the point. I watched your few videos, and in one it sounds like you're no longer in the storage buying business, which is true. And is it because you found better business, or you're into writing books? Now, it also sounds like you found something to support your family with, which is true. I was just wondering if you could point me in the right direction to where best invest what little money I have left to make a living, or at least support my family. And, you know, that's the rest of it. I'm going to actually send him a reply back to that. I get stuff like this all of the time. I get stuff like that all of the time. And, you know, here's a good guy. And, you know, the advice I'm going to give him, I'm going to give him a little bit more. The same advice I'm going to give you. You've got to invest in yourself. Number one, based on your situation. Okay, here we are again. All right. Based on the fact that you're a business owner, you have a different set of discipline. Number one, This is an emergency. Whatever is not relevant, don't pay it. Stack your money. You know what's relevant? Shelter, food, insurance. In terms of investment, I'm going to say right now for you to just go out to the storage auction business here in Georgia is going to be killer move because one, it's tax season. Two, there are more people out there than ever before, and essentially you might be pissing in the wind. Just don't know, because there's still value, there's still units, because like I said, I tell everyone to start off slow and work their way up. Okay, like I was saying, I tell everyone to start off slow and then work their way up. And it sounds like you have some pretty critical conditions. Answer your questions directly. I've always wanted to be a writer. When I was married a long time ago, back in the dark ages, wanted to do it. Ex-wife wasn't supportive. Had another shot, late 90s, early 2000. Started my business, and that went to the window for 8 years. Did not start writing again until July 17th, 2009. I remember the day very well. So definitely it's working out for me. I took a risk, and that's the thing. I would say if you have a dream, if you've got something you want to do, talk to the family, because I figure, you sound like a great guy, and I figure that they love you and work with you, because essentially get rid of anything you do not need now. Don't wait until the last minute. I kind of get the feeling that you still have a little money. Hold on to that and try to add to it. Do whatever you can to bring in income. And also, like I said, some other stuff I will send to you. But definitely the thing is, you've got to look at this as an emergency now versus hoping it's going to get better. Because, let's just be honest. You've got a lot of great skills. You've ran the business successfully for a long time. That's going to help you. Getting in the auction business, you definitely going to have to start off slow. I don't know what your monthly burn rate is, how much money you need, but with this business, you're going to have to spend some money. But like I said, it's definitely an example of what's going on out there. Because I was telling a friend the other day, I was like, this is exciting for me to leave one thing to do something else and still be able to support myself, because, and it's something I've always wanted to do. That's the thing I've always wanted to do. Essentially, this is all I do is videos, write the blog, and it is a full-time occupation. But like I said, I'll send you something, and hopefully it'll help. But back to the veterans. Everyone is like tripping, being pissed. As a veteran, I know a lot of you out there have reserves. You can't be in the game long term and not have a reserve. It's impossible, because you have good days, bad days, good weeks, bad months. That's right, bad weeks, bad months. It happens. I've never had a bad year. I've had bad days, bad weeks. Actually, not that many bad months, but I had a plan. And a lot of the folks in this industry don't have a plan, don't have a business plan, they just kind of wing it. But everyone's pissed. I'm going to tell you, it does not help you to be pissed off. It doesn't. It makes things worse, because it clouds your objectivity and you are killing your innovation. Look, you're going to have to do some things differently. And actually, it's a brave new world. This is my prediction. The shows and the internet and me, I catch a lot of blame. It's like, you're the reason, man. You're the reason. You're the reason all these people out here. I'm like, if I had that kind of power, do you think I would just be doing this? Please. I have a girl, and she's heard this before, but if I had that type of power, I would have a harem. And all the money in the world, I would be balling out. For real. So I don't have that type of power. But the deal is, you've got to make some changes. All this bitching and whining and crying is not going to do you, your business, your family a bit of good. It's not. Part of my story is due to my divorce, and a lot of divorced men totally get this. I've met guys who are rich now, but when they went through it, it kills you financially. It just terrible. And I ended up living in the hood in a freaking boarding house with crackheads as my roommates. That's how bad it was. So when I say look, yes, it's tough. Yes, there's a lot of bad things happening. When I say you can make it through this, you can. I've said this before. Number one, you got to get rid of your debt. You've got to get rid of your debt. You've got to get your expenses as lean as fuck. I'm serious. This is just my opinion, but if you have a house that's like $100 and some thousand underwater and the bank will not work with you, leave that bitch. I mean, seriously, because I had one lady, she's got 50 grand and she's like, well, she doesn't want to leave the house. I'm like, look, you got enough money to start off somewhere else and cut your burn rate. You have got to look out for you, because a lot of these corporations have looked out for the bottom line. I'm not going to say that's wrong. That's what a business is in business for, to make money. But just know that you just spend your 50 grand to pay your mortgage and you have no more money coming in. What are you going to do after the money runs out? What are you going to do? Your house is paid off. Okay, then you still have to pay it. If that was enough to actually pay it off, I'd say do it. Pay your house off. No mortgage, and you're good. But these are the decisions that people had to make. When I started this process, I got rid of everything that could be a burden. I don't have a car payment. I don't have credit card debt. Because I could not launch off on this new thing and have all these obligations. It's just not going to work, because you won't be able to sleep, and it's just too much noise. I've learned my lesson with debt. I've learned it. And it's not a pretty thing. I mean, not all debt's bad, but you don't want to be in crushing debt. Crushing debt's 30, 40, 50, 60, 100,000, 200, unless you're starting some type of business, that's just crazy. There are couples out there, $80,000 to $200,000 worth of personal debt, and I'm not talking about the mortgage. That's insane. You're living beyond your means, and that shit has to stop at some point. Either you can stop it, or it will be stopped for you. Just saying. There's some people who have a leprechaun in their back pocket and can do this forever. But, for the vast majority of us, it doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that at all. Just letting you know. So stop the bitching. Stop being pissed off. It's not going to help. Trust me. Been there. All right, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions.